Hi, I'm David and this is Humble Keyboards. This video is about musical keys and the key signatures that define them. Typically, a song can be said to be in a particular key, which specifies both which note starts the scale that provides the musical materials for the harmony and melody of that song, but also the intervals and character of that scale. Often, but not necessarily, the song's harmony will start and end with the chord built on that note, and sometimes the song's melody will begin and end with that note too. For example, a song that is in A might start and end with an A major chord, and will mostly draw its harmony and melody from the notes of the A major scale. We can construct all of these scales starting on any note, knowing the size of their intervals. And once again, the cycle of fifths helps us to understand keys and their signature accidentals, sharps and flats that always apply to certain notes in the scale. The C major scale, that is the Ionian mode, has only natural note names with no sharps or flats. Moving the root up by fifths, we find that we have to keep adding sharps in a particular sequence to keep the same intervals. The G major scale would be a Mixolydian scale if we didn't raise this F to an F sharp, and so the key signature of G major has one sharp, F sharp. By convention, there is no key signature with one sharp that isn't F sharp, and the first sharp in a written key signature is always F sharp. The root note a fifth above G is D, and the D major scale keeps the F sharp, which becomes its major third, and needs C sharp to get its major seventh. It's always the seventh that needs raising from minor to major, as we add sharps to these key signatures when moving up in fifths like this. And any major key signature with two sharps has the F sharp from G and the C sharp from D. The major scale on A adds G sharp for its major seventh leading tone. The major scale on E adds D sharp. The major scale on B adds A sharp. It gets interesting when we get to F sharp major. We need to raise this E by a semitone, and this note is not F, it's E sharp. It's a musical rule that a 7-note scale only has one note with each name, and so we don't have both F and F sharp. We have F sharp and E sharp, because we've raised this E by a semitone. C sharp adds this B sharp, and G sharp adds this F double sharp. At that point, when you're calling this key E sharp and this one F double sharp, it's getting a little perverse. And if someone writes a song in G sharp instead of A flat, you have my permission to throw your sandwich at them. So, the sequence of sharps for key signatures is always F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and if it's really necessary, E sharp and B sharp. Notice that those sharps follow a cycle of fifths. Moving in the other direction from C major, we find that F major needs a B flat to get the perfect fourth of the major scale, instead of the augmented fourth of the Lydian mode. B flat major needs this E flat for the same reason. E flat keeps the B flat and adds this A flat. A flat adds this D flat, and D flat adds this G flat. G flat adds this C flat. And C flat is not a practical key. Just call it B and be happier. The sequence of flats in key signatures is always B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and if strictly necessary, C flat. And again, they follow a cycle of fifths. Minor keys have the same key signature as the major scale on their minor third. That is, A minor has the key signature of C major. E minor has the same sharps and flats as G major. B minor is the same set of notes as D major, and so on. It's a lot to learn, and as a competent musician, you need to be able to play in all 24 major and minor keys and be aware of their modal variants. But as a practical matter, you might notice that almost every song you want to learn is in one of about 7 of the 12 possible major keys, and that 3 of those are the most popular. Learn G, D, and A first. Then their minor versions, and then E, and C, and F, and B, in about that order. You're still responsible for the other keys, they just don't come up as often. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video, and subscribe to see more.